If you're watching this video, chances are that you've probably seen a few other YouTube videos of people showcasing their daily journaling setups, of fully fleshed out Obsidian daily pages, Notion databases for habit tracking every day, or even just paper planners that are totally filled out at the end of the year, maybe totally filled out bullet journals or notebooks full of daily morning pages that are fully filled out and that people have committed to over long term. And chances are that, like me, you've tried out many of these different methods, but nothing really sticks. That I know personally, I haven't been able to stick with a single method of daily journaling, daily habit tracking, anything like that consistently in one spot at all. This lack of follow through with a single journaling or daily tracking method has really manifested itself in other areas of my life too, between picking up hobbies and dropping them, with guitars detuning just sitting on the stand, or projects that are left half undone, a little bit of code, half of a website here or there, and especially different productivity tools, note-taking apps, task management software, and all of the different methodologies scattered around everywhere with no one clear thing that I'm sticking with. This all really came to light when I turned 25 last year, and I wanted to change that lack of follow through. I wanted to be able to stick with something and commit to something over a longer period of time. That year, I had seen Hobonichi's 5-year Techo journal, and that had really served as inspiration for something that could serve me over a long period of time as a consistent habit to pick up. I really liked that it was something analog, something that I could see, interact with, and flip through without any sort of digital distractions in there. And it feels a little bit cringe to say, but it was something that I was thinking could be a really cool birthday present to myself in 5 years when I turned 30. And maybe it's something that I would be able to continue on with indefinitely and line an entire shelf full of these journals of daily records of my life. And hence, that's why I think of this as a sort of legacy journal that maybe someday, somewhere, somebody will want to take a flip through my entire life for whatever reason. I took a look at all of the pre-made 5-year journal options out there, but I didn't really care for any of them, so I decided to go with a blank dot grid notebook instead, and I ended up finding the Moleskine expanded hardcover, which has 400 pages in it. I was able to pick this up for like $20 on Amazon, but I think it's a little bit more expensive now. So the 400 pages minus the 365 pages for one day each year gives us an extra 35 pages at the start of the notebook, which is a perfect 7 pages per year to use for planning or review. I have yet to actually use my extra pages for this year, but my original plan was to have 1 page for a 5-year plan each year. So I would assume that this would change every year. At least once per year, I could take another look and write a fresh 5-year plan. The second page would be just a yearly plan, with the third page being a yearly review at the end. And then for pages 4 through 7, I was thinking of splitting these up 1 page per quarter, whether that be the top half used for planning and the bottom half used for review for a quarter, or even splitting each quarter up into 3 for each month. Since I am 9 months into my first year and I have yet to touch those pages, I may end up just doing one big yearly review, maybe a few pages to talk about the year in general, and then a page per quarter. Okay, so now we have those 7 pages over 5 years, those first 35 pages accounted for. Next, the 365 daily pages. We get 1 page for every day of the year, and Moleskine, their dot grid pages, have 40 vertical spaces. So divided by 5, this ends up being 8 spaces per day that we get to journal on. So we end up getting 8 lines per day per year over 5 years. I usually write about the day before, so this morning I would write about what happened yesterday retrospectively. And sometimes I'm not good about doing it daily over the weekend, so sometimes on Monday I'll have to catch up a few days and write on a few pages about what I did over the weekend. So what to actually write about in these pages? For me, the most common theme is sort of what I've done that day, the content that I've consumed or games that I've played, media that I've watched, as well as the things that I worked on that day, certain projects that I'm working on, or things that I did at work that day. After that, I kind of go into how I've been feeling, either about work, my life in general, just my emotions or my mood, how I'm feeling in general. And sometimes I'll put in there just sort of what's been on my mind, what things that I've been wanting to start, or what I've been thinking about a lot lately. On a daily basis, these kind of seem boring. It's just a meeting with a client, I worked on this report, I went out to coffee, I did grocery shopping. So it's kind of boring in the day-to-day, but I am excited once I get to the 1 year mark and I'm able to see last year's entries while I'm writing this year's entries. As the year has gone on, I've also started to adorn my journal, add a few stickers of some books, manga, anime, video games that I've enjoyed, things that I've done like voting, or the random sticker from the mountains when we went camping, for instance. So what have I learned so far doing this for 9 months now? The first thing is just kind of how boring my day-to-day life is and how repetitive a lot of the entries can get, that every day isn't a new and novel experience, but just more meetings, more grocery shopping, another coffee trip. It sort of gets repetitive over time. One of the interesting things that I'm excited to kind of dive deeper into when I get past the 1 year point is the relationship between my emotions and my actions. I've kind of started to notice that on days where I watch more YouTube videos, am sort of all over the place and just kind of trying to do busy work, that I don't feel as good that day, that I feel like I wasted the day, and the reflection has really helped solidify the emotion to action connection there. But on days where I'm able to work harder, be more productive, that I feel a lot more accomplished, and I feel like in general my mood is better on those days. The final thing so far has been the sort of visualization of time passing, seeing the bookmark go down the pages of the journal as the year goes on, sort of a stark reminder of how quickly time is passing for me. 5 years is a long time, but like I said, seeing that bookmark move down the journal is sort of added a little bit of urgency to really see physically how far into the year since my last birthday, as well as on the page how much more I'm filling up, I'm sure, as time goes on. And as I'm getting towards the end of this first year, I've been starting to think about, what do I have to show for this year? And would I be happy if the track that I'm on, the pace that I'm at, continued on for the next 4 years? If you've made it this far into the video, I'd love to hear from you in the comments if you'd like to see a post 1 year update of maybe what I used my 7 yearly pages for, or just what it's like after reviewing all of my entries for the year, or even if you just have any questions about the journal in general. So that's all for me right now, but I plan on making more content soon around the process of learning to live the life we love and love the life that we live, as cheesy as that might sound. So stay tuned for more content coming soon.